Hey guys, today we're back in the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray. As many of you know, this is the hybrid all-wheel drive Corvette. It is a monster, 655 horsepower. We have an 8-speed automatic transmission, 160 horsepower electric motor at the front axle, and the 495 horsepower 6.2 liter V8 from the Stingray in the back, powering the rear wheels. It sounds fantastic. It goes like stink. We're gonna walk you guys around this E-Ray today, talk about what it's like, what you need to know about this car. This is a 3LZ, which costs around $114,000. This has about 10 grand in options, putting the total price at $124,500. So kind of pricey, but a lot of car here. We have the front nose lift, the carbon fiber removable roof panel painted in body color, which is silver flare metallic. This is the Artemis Interior. Really sharp, really good looking. This also has the 14-speaker Bose Performance Series premium audio system, and we get some carbon fiber bits inside and out. Stunning color on this E-Ray. E-Ray differentiates itself slightly from the Z06 with its body-colored accents. Same width as the Z06, the wide body. 275/30 R20s in the front, carbon ceramic brakes, and 345/25 R21s in the rear. Pilot Sport All Season 4 ZP tires today. This is the Coupe. It is a great looking Corvette. I love seeing this marriage of hybrid and naturally aspirated performance in a sports car like this. We have the engine appearance package. Doesn't look that great today because we are just getting inundated with pollen here in southeast Michigan. But here's our trunk space, enough room for a set of golf clubs or the roof if you want to set it back here. Soft close. This silver flare really pops in just about every type of light. I've had this out in direct sunlight, in kind of dreary, cloudy weather. It just looks fantastic, no matter how you cut it. You can pop the front trunk with a button right here. And you can just lift it up, which is great. Good size front trunk. Again, apologies for all the tree stuff. Love the wide stance here. Very menacing look. All right, let's hop inside. We'll walk you around this interior just a little bit more, and we'll take this for a drive. We've already done a pretty in-depth video on the E-Ray, so we're not going to bore you with too many details. We're just going to give you guys some more driving impressions and enjoy the night in this car. I love the C8 Corvette's great wall of buttons here. All your climate controls, your heated ventilated seats, your fan speed, your airflow direction, passenger controls, it's all right here, and it's actually pretty intuitive and well placed. The fan speed is placed just about right where you'd expect it to be, right in the middle, so you can quickly access that. You can almost use this without really looking over at it. It's a really good design. You feel slightly separated from your passenger, but I actually really like it. A couple of cup holders right here. Here's your drive mode selection switch, so you can do tour, sport, track. I have it set to change the gauge clusters according to drive mode today too. We've also got our Z mode. And you can configure all of these different parameters here: steering, suspension, engine. Down here there are some E-Ray specific buttons. For Charge Plus, that's basically if you're just on track and you want as much regenerative braking as possible to keep that hybrid battery system charged. We're going to leave that off for street driving, and you can turn off your auto stop start there as well. Here's your key fob. You can remote start this, pop the front trunk, pop the rear trunk, lock, unlock, alarm, all the good stuff. Nice looking key, weighted well, and feels pretty good in hand. Today we've also got another treat for you. We are wearing the Breitling B01 Top Time Corvette watch, which is very cool. You got a little Corvette emblem right there on this. As you might have gathered from the name, this has the very nice B01 movement, which is just stunning on this display back case. Another Corvette emblem back there too. It has a 70-hour power reserve. Of course, we're wearing this watch today because this video is sponsored by Lewis Jewelers. I'll throw a link to this in the top comment. Go check them out. And if you're interested in buying your next luxury watch, be sure to mention TheTopher, talk to DK, and he will hook you guys up with an excellent buying experience. I was at Lewis Jewelers earlier this week, and I told them I finally got a Corvette coming in. We've got to do the Breitling Corvette watch. So here we are. Enjoy it on the wrist. Let's go for a drive. But first, actually, before we get started, let's turn this off. Of course, because we're in the E-Ray, we have to start this video off in stealth mode. This engages only the front electric motor, and you can pull out of your neighborhood in complete silence. You can basically sneak away in your Corvette E-Ray. Sometimes the startup in this is pretty loud, which is kind of a neat feature, something to play with, but I always enjoy starting the videos with this just because it is pretty clever. So we're going to double press our ignition, scroll over here to stealth mode, start up the vehicle, put us into drive, and past a certain throttle percentage, the engine will just kick on. But you can supposedly get up to about 45 miles per hour in stealth mode. We have a 75% battery charge. It's good for cruising around at lower speeds, but not much beyond that. If you want to run the AC, the engine will kick on, and it's only able to be engaged upon startup. So the goal of this E-Ray isn't really meant for this to be a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid. The hybrid component is only there for performance, but we get this stealth mode as kind of a neat little Easter egg. All right, so here we are getting up to 20 miles an hour. And you've got a little throttle indicator there on the head-up display. Already we're down to 60% battery. I mean, we only have a tiny little 1.9 kilowatt hour battery pack right here, designed for super fast charge and discharge rates. Just breathing on the brake pedal there brought us back up to 60% from 59. This is pretty cool. You just need to go down the street to the shops. This stealth mode is very, very clever. And you can see once we're getting up past 42, 43, 44, engine starts right up. Synchronizes RPM, transition complete. We've got all of our drive mode settings shown there. Okay, we're in business. One of the big surprises with this E-Ray when I first got into it was just how good it sounds. So we've got the combined audio from that 6.2 liter V8 with kind of this almost electric supercharger sound. It's this electric whine from the motor, and I think it sounds fantastic. It's really exciting, combined with the actual power output of this car. This E-Ray is really, really fast. We'll go into Z mode, why not? We've already done quite a bit of track driving in this car. We've really explored its limits. We've slid it around an autocross, kind of autocross / gymkhana course / skid pad, and had a lot of fun behind the wheel of this. Today's video, we're just going to be kind of going for a cruise and seeing what this is like on our familiar test route. So at speed on the highway, there's a little bit of tire noise, something to be expected from that staggered 20-21 inch wheel setup and pretty thin sidewalls if I'm being honest. Also, it's kind of hard to make a 345 width tire quiet. That said, this is a very comfortable ride. The suspension is wonderfully damped. Seats are fantastic in here. The Bose sound system is really good too. I mean, as a vehicle to live with on a regular basis, this E-Ray is pretty awesome. And the fact that it has all-weather capability due to its all-wheel drive system and I've got to say, these all-season tires are very, very good in the snow. We spent some time in a Corvette Stingray, a C8 a couple of years ago, drove it up north. Chevrolet had a Corvette with winter tires, but they gave us one with the all-seasons just to kind of say, hey, this is how most Corvettes come from the factory. Try it out, see how you like it in the snow. I think you'll be surprised. And we really were. It got through a couple inches of snow, no problem. The fact that we have a little bit more weight over the rear axle with this mid-engine Corvette is a really big plus in wet, dry traction, but also in the wintertime. So the fact that you have all-wheel drive capability here with this E-Ray makes it even more capable and even more fun. And I really love the limit handling characteristics of this car too. It's a lot of fun to slide around. It initiates a slide kind of like a rear-wheel drive car would. It really gives you a lot of angle initially, and then once you get into that drift, you can treat it like an all-wheel drive and steer back into it. It's really natural, really fluid. I was kind of bummed that we didn't get a chance to drive this in the winter this year. These E-Rays really just started coming off the line and into the press fleets this spring. So maybe someday we'll get a chance to drive this in the snow. We really don't get a lot of snow anymore in Michigan, but at some point I would love to make that happen. It just isn't going to happen this year or anytime soon, probably. All right, we're transitioning here onto some asphalt. We've got another C8 Corvette up here. We can go say hello before we exit. I like these carbon fiber paddles. They're a little bit light, not a ton of resistance, but they're the right shape. They feel really good ergonomically. Big differences I'm noticing here with this E-Ray. There's a bit heftier steering in this car than the standard Stingray, and a lot heavier than what's in the Z06. This copper-free braking system requires very, very aggressive bed-in. You basically have to do a track day in this car to bed these brakes in. If I had one complaint, it's that there just isn't enough bite from the braking system for the amount of power that this thing puts down. But again, you can fix that with a different set of pads, or just take your E-Ray to the racetrack and you'll be in good shape. Shifts from this 8-speed dual clutch are so seamless, so smooth. And the torque fill from the hybrid component and that front electric motor is amazing. This thing just has power in a way that just, it delivers it. It seems endless. There is an end to it eventually because the battery runs out, but chances are, if you're not just accelerating all the time, it does a pretty good job regenerating itself. Off we go. That doesn't get old. We can lock us into manual mode. That's a lot of fun. Still amazing performance on these all-season tires. More grip than you could possibly ever need on the street. I love how easy the new C8 Corvette is to operate. From drive mode changes to settings adjustments, it's all just seamless and so well calibrated. The torque here really is crazy. We can go into manual mode, put us in 8th gear, roll into it, and we just get a ton of acceleration at 1700 RPM. It's amazing. Torque fill truly is an awesome thing. One thing I like about Chevrolet Interiors is they always give you a dimmer switch for night driving. Turn that all the way down. It turns off all of our screens and just shows our speed. That's awesome. I have good visibility. This passenger mirror is very, very wide angle. I can see a lot out of that, and I can see even more out of this digital rear view mirror. Even the view out of the physical window isn't too bad, but I like that you can see the spoiler down here. In tour mode, we can see how much horsepower that front electric motor is putting out. Sometimes it goes a little bit beyond 160 horsepower. We saw 174 there. 179 briefly. While we're just cruising here at speed, let's engage cruise control. That's easy enough to do. And let's test out this Bose sound system. We've got a volume knob up here to the left of the screen, right next to the steering wheel. Nice to see that. Track selection, volume controls down here. Sounds great. For the money, this car really is the whole package. It's pretty amazing the numbers and the performance that it can achieve. It's fun to drive. It looks great. It has all-weather, all year-round capability. I'm not sure how many Corvette owners will drive their Corvette year-round, but the fact that, okay, maybe you can have a little bit more fun on a wet track day in your E-Ray is very enticing. Yes, there's a little bit of extra heft here. This weighs just slightly under 4,000 pounds, but that acceleration never gets old. I love the way this sounds. As an alternative to the Z06, I think this is a slightly better, livable day-to-day vehicle. It's some very, very cool technology that's been very well calibrated and tuned and implemented into this Corvette, giving it pretty much supercar levels of performance. The fact that you can take the roof off is a huge plus. It kind of does everything. I have a couple minor complaints about the way it drives. I wish the brakes had a little bit better bite. I wish the steering weren't as heavy. But overall, when you get behind the wheel of this thing, you tend to kind of manhandle it, and all the control weights start to make a bit more sense. If anything, it makes it more of an engaging driving experience, having those heavier control weights. everything these days is a little bit too light anyway, and if you look at it that way, this E-Ray is a breath of fresh air. Fuel economy is virtually the same as the Corvette Stingray, despite the extra power here and the extra weight. Rated for 16 miles per gallon in the city, 24 on the highway. And that hybrid component, of course, coming into play and helping us achieve those numbers, which is great. When steady state cruising in this E-Ray, just like the standard C8 Stingray, you'll often see the V4 pop up right down there, showing us that it's shutting off half the cylinders to save fuel. Again, that transition is seamless and immediate. Overall, very impressed with this E-Ray this week. Didn't get to spend as much time in it as I would have liked. We have kind of an abbreviated loan in this, and some more fun cars coming later on this week. But still, I hope you guys enjoyed this drive. It's great to get behind the wheel of this again back here in Michigan. And hopefully one of these days we'll be able to organize a track event or something in inclement weather, in the snow, because I feel like this would just absolutely dominate. We'll walk you guys around this, and then we'll spend a little bit more time behind the wheel so you guys can experience this at night. Thanks again to Lewis Jewelers. Shout out to them for letting me wear this Breitling B01 Corvette watch tonight. Real treat with this car, and a lot of fun to have on the wrist. I'll show you guys a startup here too, without going into stealth mode. Like I said, it's pretty rowdy on cold starts. Just a great looking car. On some of the colors with the E-Ray, I wasn't completely convinced with the painted accents, but in this color, I think it really, really looks sharp. Here's another view of that carbon fiber removable hardtop. The aero on this looks really, really good too. All right, so let's do another start up here. All right, well, admittedly, a warm start isn't quite as dramatic as a cold start in this, but you'll just have to take my word for it. The power here is just truly insane. And I love the amount of decel off throttle too. The front end nose lift on the C8 is very clever. This is the same no matter what Corvette you get, but it has a GPS save function where you hit the nose lift, it'll ask you if you want to save this location. It's very, very clever. All I have to do is just press the left button and it'll remember according to where the vehicle is located, and then beyond a certain speed, it'll automatically lower. for drifts, however you want to look at it. It's the best of both worlds. It's the combination of responsiveness and immediacy and torque, endless torque from an EV with a wonderful American V8 behind you. Pretty cool stuff. Very well done. Alright guys, well that'll be a wrap on this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this sunset evening drive in the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray. We'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for some more videos coming out on this car on the Winding Road Magazine YouTube channel and maybe the TheTopher Drives YouTube channel where Substitute Topher will do a review on this. Until then, we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.